my channel. In today's video, I am going to be sharing 4 low-calorie meals. Now, I don't know about you, but the week after Thanksgiving, I like cooking light because let's be honest, last week was a lot of heavy food for at least my family. So I hope that you find some recipes in here that your family could like. My family loved every single one of them. And if you do, I am leaving a printable PDF down in the description box. So you can print it and follow along with me. So without further ado, let's make some dinner. All right, so to start us off with our low-calorie meals, I am making a Chipotle burrito bowl. This is so good. So I am using 2 large chicken breasts. It's about 1.5 pounds of chicken breast, and we are going to dice that up, and then we are going to season it. So we're going to use a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of cumin, and a teaspoon of smoked paprika. And then we are going to use the juice of 1 lime. And a little trick here with the lime, if you just turn it inside out and squeeze around it, you get the most juice out of it. My limes don't really have any seeds in them. I live here in Florida and these limes are amazing. Very little seeds in them. And of course, a little pinch of salt and pepper in there. Give it a really good mix. Now we're going to move on to making the Pico De Gallo. So I am using 2 tomatoes, 1 red onion, 1 jalapeno. We're going to dice them up finely, and then about 2 tablespoons of fresh cilantro and chop that up really well. We're going to transfer that over into a mixing bowl, and then we are going to squeeze in another lime, all the juice from 1 lime. And then, of course, put a little salt and pepper to taste. A teaspoon of garlic powder as well gives it really good flavor. Give it a really good stir. Right, so we are on to making our Chipotle sauce. So I added in 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt, and I am using 2 teaspoons of Chipotle sauce. And I realized after I mixed it that it was not spicy enough for us, and I do like it a little bit spicy, so I wound up adding another teaspoon of Chipotle sauce to this. So if you like it spicy, I would definitely recommend 3 teaspoons, but taste it as you go. So over to our stove, we are going to cook our chicken until it's cooked through, so it's going to take about 8 minutes. All right, so now it's time to assemble our dish. So I just put some rice, and I'm putting the chicken, some black beans, some romaine lettuce, corn, and that delicious Pico De Gallo. And then I'm just gonna top it all with that Chipotle sauce. And this was so good, you guys. Everyone loved it, and it is only 560 calories. So on to the next recipe. This is our creamy chicken Alfredo. And let me tell you, you would never know that this is only 566 calories. So we are taking 2 large chicken breasts and we are just slicing them in half so they're a little bit thinner. I'm going to drizzle it with some olive oil, and I'm going to use this garlic and herb by Mrs. Dash. This is such a good seasoning. It's got no salt in it and it's very low in calories. So we're going to season it and oil it on both sides. So just a little tip, if you are seasoning any of your meat, make sure you're pushing in the seasoning into the meat. This way it sticks and that flavor stays in your meat. Anyway, now we are going to fry up our chicken. So we are just going to cook this about 5 minutes per side or until the chicken reaches 165 degrees Fahrenheit internally. So now we are on to the low-calorie Alfredo sauce. This stuff is amazing, you guys. So it requires 8 ounces of low-fat cottage cheese, 2 Laughing Cow wedges. Make sure you get the light Laughing Cow wedges, 1/4 cup of mozzarella cheese, 1/4 cup of milk, and a pinch of salt and pepper. Give that a really good blend until it's smooth. To a frying pan, I did add a little oil. I honestly did not know if this was going to stick to the pan or not, so I'd rather have been safe than sorry. And I just heated that all the way through until everything was nice and melted. So for the pasta, I did use 8 ounces of brown rice pasta just to keep it as low calorie as possible, but you can always use a whole wheat pasta or anything else that has low calories. And then I just topped it with the chicken and drizzled it with the remaining Alfredo sauce that I had left, and this is what it came out like, you guys, and I'll tell you, it was so good. You would never know that this is, like I said, only 566 calories, and it's got 63 grams of protein as well, so that's always a win. Up next, we are making teriyaki beef. This is another amazing meal, and this one comes together in no time at all. So we are taking a red bell and a yellow bell pepper and 1 onion. We're going to slice the peppers, and we are going to dice the onion and mince 4 cloves of garlic. For the beef, I have about 1.5 pounds here, and I am slicing them into thin strips. Now we are going to make the sauce. So I'm taking those 4 minced cloves of garlic. I'm putting in 1/2 cup of soy sauce, 1 cup of low sugar tomato sauce, 1/2 cup of low sugar barbecue sauce, and 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar. Give that a good mix. I did wind up adding about 1 tablespoon of sesame oil as well because it really gives it an amazing flavor. And now to our frying pan, I am going to heat over medium-high heat about 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, and we are going to cook our steak about 5 minutes until they are nice and tender, and then remove them from the pan. Add in about another tablespoon of your sesame oil, and we are going to cook our onions and our peppers and give that a good stir. So we're going to cook that about 4 minutes or until it's soft. Now we're going to add in our sauce and cook until it's nice and bubbly, and then add in our beef, mix it all together. And here is what our meal came out like. It was so good. I just served it over rice and topped it with some green onions. I love this dish. My family loved it, even my kids. And like I always say, if my kids like it, that's got to be a win in our book. All right, so for our final low-calorie recipe this week, I made sticky orange chicken. This is another meal that comes together in no time. So I am taking 2 large chicken breasts, about 1.5 pounds, dicing that up. Then I'm going to season it with a teaspoon each of smoked paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, and a little bit of salt and pepper. Now to our baking sheet, I'm just going to spray that with some nonstick spray and just cook the chicken on this baking sheet at 400 degrees for about 23 minutes or until it is cooked through. So to our frying pan, I have it heating over medium heat. We're going to add in 3/4 cup of low sugar orange juice, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, 2 teaspoons each of grated garlic and grated ginger, and 1/4 cup of brown sugar. We're going to bring this to a nice simmer. Once it starts simmering and all the sugar has been dissolved, we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of cornstarch and let that cook for about 30 to 45 seconds or until it gets nice and thick. Now we're going to take our chicken after it's done cooking, and we're just going to toss this in this amazing orange sauce. I just served this up with some steamed broccoli and some white rice, and I drizzled it with a little extra sauce and garnished it with a little slice of orange because why not? This meal was another home run for us. It was so delicious, and I actually even meal prepped a bunch of this for my husband this week as well because it was that good. That is going to do it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I appreciate you being here all the way through to the end. If you did find a recipe that you like, don't forget that the recipes are down in the description box in a printable PDF. And again, thank you for being here, and I will see you guys in the next video.